ladies, and welcome back to another Single Woman Talk with me, Annette C. So today, let's talk finances. So I wanted to do a little exercise with you. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, take it out because I want you to do the following. So I want you on the sheet of paper to list out however you get paid. So whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or if you're freelance, whenever you get paid, whenever you get checks, whatever, write down how much you make. And then I want you to break down how you spend each paycheck. Where does your money go? You know, does it go to DoorDash? Does it go to shopping? Does it go to paying debt, credit card bills? Does it go to bills? Does it go to essentials, like things that you need to survive, medicine, whatever it is? Like, write down all of the way how you spend that check. And then I want you to look at it. As a single woman, this is what I had to do. I wouldn't say that I was the best when it came to finances, but I wasn't the worst. And that's one of the things that I want for you to understand, is that we are going to make mistakes. And thank God we get this opportunity, right? So I always reiterate, when you're single, this is the best time for you to focus on yourself, for you to make the changes that you need, for you to do some self-awareness, some soul searching, to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, because this is the time, right? And especially for my single ladies who do eventually want to get into a relationship, you have to figure out you before you can figure out someone else. And you alone will be different than you with someone else, because you will now have to join with someone else. So that's two personalities, two ways of living, two different, ideologies, and two different people who were raised differently. So you have to learn how to join together with this other person. So that is why it's best to learn yourself and to understand how you are. And one of the things that I had to do when I realized that I wanted to figure out myself, I wanted to do better. I wanted to clean up my life wherever I could, because I knew that I wanted to prepare myself for when I meet that guy, for when I get into my relationship. I wanted to make sure that I was good, and so one of the things that I focused on was finances. How do I spend money? What type of spender am I? Am I good with money? Or am I one of those people who just like to spend? Do I spend my paycheck before I get it? Do I save? Am I a saver? Like, different things like that. And just like I said, I was not the best when it came to finances, but I wasn't the worst. So years ago in college, I had credit cards. I had took out credit cards because, of course, I wasn't working. That was the only way that I was able to survive through college. So I had credit cards. The good thing about it was I had like 2 or 3. My credit cards were not like the limits were not a lot, so they were manageable. So I think like my monthly payments were like $20. I think my credit cards were probably like 500, 1,000. It wasn't like a lot, so I was able to like pay off, keep up to date with like my credit and my credit cards while I was in college, and then after I left as well. What ended up happening was with my credit cards, because I was always on time and I was paying them off, they would increase my balance. Like, they would increase my limit. And of course, the more money that you get, especially free money, the more that you spend. So that's why I said, I was good with my money. I was good with finances. I was paying my bills on time. I was paying off the cards. But the more money that they were giving me in these cards, the more that I was spending. And it got to a point to where I wasn't able to maintain it. I was spending more money than what I had. So when it was time for me to like pay off these cards, by the time I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have all of this money, like I need to pay back all of these cards, and I didn't have the money. So that's when late payments come into, and all of these different things, which ultimately affects your credit, right? So years later, when I finally decided to focus on my finances, I said, when you join with a man, when you get married, your credit and his credit joins together. So I said, as a personal choice, I wanted to make sure that my credit was in good shape for, whenever I decide, or whenever God decides to join me with my mate, I want to make sure that I'm an asset to him. I want to make sure that I don't come into the relationship with all of this debt, with all of this stuff. And I'm not knocking anyone. Just like I said, when it comes to finances, like everyone handles it differently, and you don't have to be perfect. So, you don't have to be perfect. So you just have to want to be better and to do things better. So that is why I'm having you do this exercise, write it out, see how you spend your money. If you're spending on stuff that you don't need, clothes, DoorDash, food, different things like that, and it could go to other areas, bills, credit card bills, different things like that, that's how you should be thinking in long term. Right now it's just you. So you might not have that much bills. You might not have to think about saving and stuff like that. But when you do meet that mate or meet that person that you want to be with, you have to think about it. Like, what ultimately do I want? Are we going to end up buying a house? Are we going to end up, traveling? You want to be in a good position while on your own, so that when you do get with that man, you can be an asset and not a liability. Just like I said, you don't want to go into the relationship with all of this debt and leave it on him, to pick up the slack. Because just like I said, when you get married, you guys are together. So for me, I had to focus on that. I had to focus on my finances, and I was not really educated on like credit and different things like that. So a lot of stuff I had to learn on my own. A lot of stuff I had to read books and speak to people who were knowledgeable about it. And along the way, I made some mistakes. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because I kind of wanted you to learn from my mistakes so that you don't make it. So I was a little embarrassed about speaking about this, because I was just embarrassed. I couldn't believe that this happened to me. So like I said, I was not really educated on credit and different things like that. But I just knew that I needed to fix my credit. So when I did decide to work on, clearing up those credit cards and getting my credit in tip-top shape, because just like I said, my credit wasn't bad, but I knew I wanted it to be in a better position, just like I said, for myself. I had my own goal that I set, and I was like, I can do this. I can reach this number, this credit score. There's just things that I need to fix. I ended up reaching out to a credit repair service, and they didn't have the best intentions. And that's also my fault as well. Just like I said, I'm the type of person to where I just throw money at stuff, right? So if it's like, okay, something's broke, here, can you fix it? Like, like, that's how I used to be. Like, I was like, okay, it's broke, here, fix it. Like, it's not like asking questions. It's not like, and the thing about it is, how can I ask questions about something that I don't really know? So that's what one hard lesson I had to learn, especially during this process of me fixing my finances and my credit, is making sure that I ask the right questions, and not learning what I need to learn. Even though someone is doing a service for me, I still want to ask questions to figure out what exactly are they doing, why are they doing that, just so I can be in the know and be aware. And then also so I can stay on top of it, because you don't want to hire someone to do something for you and they're not doing anything, but you're so busy doing everything else, you're not focused on that. So that was one of the mistakes that I made. I hired this company to help me, and they legitimately, they scammed me. I got scammed for $2,500. I got scammed. They did absolutely nothing. They promised me that they were going to do stuff, which I found out later on was impossible to do. But like I said, I was not educated on this stuff, so I didn't know. It sounded good, and I was like, okay, cool. They quoted me a price, and I just paid it. And yeah, I got scammed. And good thing I ended up, later on down the line, I ended up meeting someone who was actually very knowledgeable in credit and different things like that. And they were able to help me. And that's how I found out that I was being scammed. Because they told me, like, Annette, that is not right. That is not true. They can't do that. And and that is when I broke ties. So I say all that to say you will make mistakes along the way. But the main thing is to make sure that you learn as much as you can, especially when it comes to finances and credit and different things like that. Like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable about stuff, but what I do know is I learn from my mistakes. And one of the biggest lessons is to make sure that you ask questions. If you don't know about credit, if you don't know how different things work, ask questions, especially if you hire someone. It's always great to seek out someone who's more knowledgeable than you, but always ask questions, especially if you're paying this person to do a service for you. It should not be any issue with you asking a question. And that is how, if there is an issue with you asking questions, then that person might not be they might not have the best intentions for you. So like I said, I am here. The mistakes that I made, I want to share them with you, even as embarrassing as they are. I want to share them with you so that you don't make those same mistakes and that you can learn from it. And like I said, this list that you made that just lists out how you are with your expenses, it should kind of give you a little snippet of what type of spender you are. There's some people who save everything. They never have fun. But they might have a goal. They might want to buy a new car or go take a trip or pay off a house or, buy a new house or do whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you focusing on your goals and stepping away from fun. There's nothing where you will not miss anything. I promise you're not missing anything when you're working on goals and you're working to accomplish a goal. You're not missing anything. All that stuff will be there when you finish, but you will feel better about yourself and you will feel accomplished because you did what you said you wanted to do. So just look at this list, see how you spend. If you're spending money on DoorDash and doing all of that, there's nothing wrong with that either. If you have the money for that, but just see how much you're spending. See how much you're spending and eating out all the time. Is there a way that you can cook more or, figure out a way to order less or maybe order stuff that's not that expensive? But be my guest. If you're the type of person to where you don't need to save and you can spend whatever, spend whatever. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just giving you a snapshot of how you are when it comes to money because it matters. Trust me, it matters. Habits are habits. It doesn't matter where you are or who you're with. Your habits are your habits. So what you do now while you're single is what you're going to do in a relationship. So if you're the type of person to where you're spending all of your money, when you're with someone, you got to think about that because now it's not just one of you, it's two of you. And then if y'all have kids, it's going to be more of you. So you're not going to be able to spend all your money shopping or spend all your money on DoorDash or spend all your money, on stuff that's not really that important, So that's all I wanted to say. Work on your finances. You don't have to be the best, but just educate yourself on it. Educate yourself on credit. Educate yourself on you know, what you need in order to get yourself into the position that you want to be in. Like, are your finances good right now? You know, are you in a position to where you're like, you know what, my credit's good, you know, my finances are good, you know, I have money in my account, I pay my bills on time, X, Y, and Z. If you're in that position, sis, I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you, okay? I am happy for you, I'm proud of you. But if you're not in that position, it's okay. It is okay, because trust me, I am imperfect too. And it took me a while to get to this point, and you can get there too. But if I can get there, you can get there too. So work on your finances, write out everything, see what you need to work on, and educate yourself. If you hire someone, ask questions, you know, make sure that you stay on top of it, ask questions, and everything will be good. So that's all I wanted to say to you. That's all I wanted to talk to you about finances. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I was all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.